Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to thank you guys for joining us just Tuesday. As always, I do apologize about being late. Technology is funny like that. But as usual, my name is Cherrell. I'm the host of Let's Talk, y'all, and this ain't a podcast. As always, like I said, thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you guys for being so patient. I just been having a lot of issues with like Wi-Fi and things. Like, I'm not sure, but my Wi-Fi has been acting really kind of funny lately. My TV Wi-Fi has been acting crazy too. So it wouldn't originally let me join live. It would say like it's connecting, and then it say like bad connection or something. So I do apologize about that. Thank you for joining. And let's see here. There we go. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. It's acting funny, guys. Let's see here. You guys know the routine. You got to tell me something that you're grateful for. Let's see here. Let's get it going. Are you grateful for? Let's see here. All right. There we go. Ooh, today was just rough. Well, this was just kind of rough for a second. But we're going to let a few more people come in before we get started. And then I'll give you guys, once we get more viewers, I'll give you guys what I'm grateful for. Let's see here. And if you guys hadn't seen, let's see here. I'll be sitting down today with Princess, and guys, we're going to be discussing what it's like to be a mompreneur. So I really can't wait. I'm excited. I'm a mompreneur, but I think that it's always important to really talk to other people that are in the field because they can always give you a different perspective on it. So let's see what we got going here. We're about to get started. So before we do, y'all know the routine. You got to tell me something you're grateful for. I will go ahead. I am grateful for, this week I'm grateful for Netflix. Hey, I'm grateful for Netflix. You guys tell me something that you're grateful for. Our special guest has joined. So I'm going to go ahead and get her in. While I'm doing that, make sure you guys drop in my comment section something that you're grateful for. Let's see here. Let's go. I don't know why my thing is acting really funny. I don't know. It's being weird today. Hello. Hey. So I'm so happy you could join us today. Can you hear me?
Oh, hold on. I can barely hear you. Let me try to see.
We got some viewers saying I'm grateful for my mom. She's the only one concerned about my grown ass. Yeah, bro. Parents do be. You know what? Yeah, I can feel you. My mom and my dad do be concerned about my grown ass. Let's see here.
Okay. I can kind of hear, but I don't know what
Oh, you say you can kind of hear me? I don't know, y'all. It's so funny.
For some reason, it I don't know. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, that's all that matters.
Oh. Okay, so thank you for joining us. I do apologize about that, guys. Like I told you, I was having difficulty getting on. Our special guest is having difficulty. Technology is funny; it's never perfect. But before we get started, Princess, the ritual is that you got to give us something that you're grateful for. So, what is something that you're grateful for?
I am grateful for one, this opportunity to be on here with you. And just, life in general itself, things have been so crazy over these last couple of months. So just the fact that I'm healthy, my family is healthy, my children are healthy, that's definitely the first thing that I'm thankful for.
I love that. I think that nobody should be taking health for granted. I think we lost so many people this year that we did for so many more years. So health is definitely something people should be grateful for. So let's see. Anybody else want to share that they're grateful for before we jump right into it? Hey, you guys,
I wonder if I can end it and then rejoin. I could hear you before, but now it sounds like my mic or something. Or do I need headphones?
No, I can hear you fine. It sounds a little weird, but I can hear you fine. If you guys are having difficulty hearing Princess, let us know.
I can't hear you. You sound very, very.
Really? Okay. Do you want to try it again?
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna hang up and then I'm gonna try to reconnect.
Okay, go ahead. So guys, like I said, technology is funny. Bear with us here. We are just going through some little technical difficulties. We're gonna work this out. Hey y'all, let's see. I never really wave at my guests, but hey y'all. If you guys are just joining, drop in my comment section something that you're grateful for. What is something that you guys are grateful for? Let's see. Okay, so unfortunately we can only, let's see. You can just tell us something in our comment section that you're grateful for. Let's see.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Let's see.
Hello?
Okay. I don't know if it's like connected to like my Bluetooth somewhere.
I don't know.
I don't know.
So what do I sound? Do I sound far away or?
Yes, like it's super duper. Like I'm reading your lips in order to hear what you're saying.
Wow, that is bad. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, but it's still the same. I could hear you before I joined the live.
Oh wow.
I wonder if I need headphones.
If
I
you
should get
try,
headphones.
go ahead, see if you can try them and see if that works.
Okay, let me try my headphones.
I'm sorry, guys. We just run into some difficulties here. I feel like we're on that food versus acting crazy. Teddy Riley. Let's see. If you guys are here, drop in my comment section. What is something that you're grateful for? What are you guys grateful for? For your family, your health. Hey, you all. Here.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. We're here for you. We came to hear what you got to say about being a mom.
Let's see if this will work. I'm hoping and praying. Hold on, y'all. Damn,
My family. I am grateful for my family as well. I like that.
Say something.
Can you hear me?
Boom! I can hear you so much better.
See, we should have done that the first time.
I was gonna say I don't know why I needed headphones, but yes, I can hear you perfectly fine now.
Then that's all that matters. Okay. So let's go right into it. It's so happy to have you today.
Yay! I'm so happy to be here with you guys.
I'm so happy, you guys. So we're talking about, today's topic is mompreneurs, and we're talking about balancing being a mom and being a boss. Okay, like that has, I know that the difficulty has, if it was a low difficulty, has definitely skyrocketed since the pandemic. So how has that kind of affected you, like just your home, like being a mom and being at home?
So for me, I kind of worked with radio. It's kind of funny because, you kind of are able to set your own schedule. So for me, and then I was also in the process of maternity leave, like before this whole pandemic happened. I was pregnant with my second son. So I was on kind of like maternity leave, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm going back. Boom. I got cleared by my doctor. Boom. You can't go back. What do you mean? I get everything is shut down. So, for me, it was, I'm going to say it was a blessing as well as it was a curse for some others. I really got a chance to be able to stay at home with my kid, my newborn, and get that bond, because as mothers, it's always that pressure of how much time do I take off after having a child before I resume back to the workforce, or, be able to actually spend time with your kids and get those memories, because they're only kids once, work will always be here. So it was definitely an adjustment. It was hard, especially with my fiance. It was a blessing because he was able to be home and we didn't have to worry about, how much time was he taking off from work. So, just restructuring schedules and making it work like a momager and a mompreneur does, just going with the flow and doing your best, honestly.
That's really all that you can do is just
try
the best you can. So you did say that you were in the middle of maternity leave. So you were about to have another baby.
Yes.
Pandemic hit, you got to run a business. You got to be a mom. You got to be a fiance.
Yes, and then, it was hard because, there's other shows on the network besides, the show that I'm on, the Good Tymez show, and everyone else was ready to go back. And here I am trying to still put things, implement for them to be able to go back to be safe with the whole COVID happening, and having to do all of my policies, procedures, and things from home so that they can go back and be safe, and making sure that the studio is still up and running so the other shows can continue. Just because I'm out on leave, that doesn't mean that everyone's going to stop and wait for me to be done having my baby and, you know, going about my life. So, you know, my son, he's now 8 months. So I have an 8-month-old. Well, he'll be 8 months on Thursday. I have an 8-month-old and a 4-year-old. So working from home is like, scheduled things are very important, because you can never just call a mom on the fly, because you never know what's in that background of what's going to hear, which kid is screaming, which kid is begging. So you got to have everything situated.
Yeah, that is like, that's big. That my friends call and I'm like, can you stop? Please stop throwing this, stop throwing that. Like,
and people don't understand. It's like, please let me know, like, just a couple of minutes before you call me, just so I can make sure my life is like situated.
I completely.
Yeah.
So what is routine like? How do you manage to balance? Is there like a strict schedule at 8 to 12 you're doing this? What does your schedule look like?
So my schedule is, okay, it's crazy, but I've just began to, you know, get better at it.
Right.
So on Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, I'm at home. I'm working from home because I'm doing homeschool with my son since schools didn't go back. So I'm doing homeschool Monday, Wednesday, Friday, mornings. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm actually in, you know, the office doing paperwork for about 4 to 6 hours. And then on top of that, on Wednesdays and Fridays, I'm going live at night. So we're doing live shows at night. So my schedule is pretty crazy as far as, you know, my work hours, but, you know, I've always been like a night owl. So, you know, some nights when the kids are sleeping, that's when I'll do like all my emails, my paperwork and things like that, just to kind of set it up for the day before. But the good thing about being, you know, an entrepreneur is you do have that flexibility of working around your own schedule.
Right.
You know, it's not too much pressure on a time frame. It's just as long as you get it done between this day and that day, that's all that matters. Right. You know, so that's the bonus part about it.
I agree with you. That's definitely the bonus part. That a lot of women don't get that luxury. Some women are still working that 9 to 5 and they got their hustle on the side. So it is a little different that way.
Yeah. You know, thankful for me, I have, you know, amazing support cast between, you know, my parents and my fiance and, you know, my brothers and grandparents, to where I have the luxury of not having to work a 9 to 5, and I can just pursue my full dream, you know, from 9 to 5 and not have to work another, you know, job. And that is hard for a lot of women. And to the women who do it, you know, you are super mom, because, you know, to have to, you know, physically and mentally give yourself to another job. And then once you get off, you have to give another 100% to your craft and your dream. And on top of kids, that's a whole nother ballgame by itself.
That is a lot. I definitely agree with you. So talking about having a baby, you had your son. Mm-hmm. How did you manage your emotions? Because typically, you know, they even tell you after pregnancy, like, your body is just not going to snap back to normal. Your hormones are still all over the place. So as a mom and a boss, how did you manage to still maintain, you know, your emotional levels and maintain just a lot of self-control with your hormones everywhere and trying to balance being a boss and a mom?
So again, I'm going to, you know, thank my support cast, you know, between my parents, my fiance. Like I said, you know, they played a major role in supporting me, because with my first son, I had a C-section. So with my second son, I had a second C-section. So, yeah, I know, being cut twice. The second time, it was my choice. It was all my choice. I was not doing that 13 hours for no reason again. But, you know, during the whole break, you know, that is something that is, you know, very scary. You know, oh my gosh, I can't get my body back. Am I going to get my body back? So during COVID, I started Social Butterflies, and we do the Stay Pretty Challenge. So, which is what I just finished, like, right before here. So, like, after working out, I had to, like, hurry up, come home, take a shower, get changed to do this. But so we started a 6-week workout group with women, mothers, all kinds, young women, older women, and we're just working out from the comfort of our home. So it's like we're not lifting any hard, equipment, no weights. We're not doing no burpees, nothing. All we're doing is just dancing, staying fit, staying active. And honestly, that is what saved me. When I gave birth to my son in February, I was like 200 pounds. That's like the heaviest I've ever been. By the time COVID was over and like August hit, I had lost like 20 pounds. I was down to like 175, 170-ish. So during that 6 weeks, we were doing workouts 4 days a week. We were meal planning, we were encouraging each other to lose weight. It was about 12 to 13 girls that, signed up, and we're currently on our season 3. I know, yay, I'm so excited, because with the first 2 seasons, it's whoever sheds the most pounds wins a cash prize. So we've had 2 winners so far. And like I said, just doing that at home with other women, encouraging each other, and just understanding that, for one, we didn't gain all this weight overnight, and, we didn't create these bad habits overnight, so we're not going to lose it overnight. It takes time, it's consistency, and it's just dedication. It's about being mindful. So many people get caught up on doing all these, quick fad diets, the teas and the milkshakes and, the proteins, and it's like, how often are you going to keep buying those teas?
Right.
After a while, it just boils down to, are you eating healthy, or, are you, eating in portions? And, it's not about what you eat. It's about how much you eat. You can still eat pizza, just not the whole pizza, like just one slice. So just really doing that over, the quarantine really helped me just stay, mentally okay, because when you feel better, you think better and you do better, and it all really is in one. When I started working out, my energy level boost through the roof. Before, when I wasn't working out, I needed naps when my kids needed naps. I was tired. I would drink, energy drinks and Mountain Dews, but, working out really helped boost my energy levels. So
I love that. I love that.
Yes.
I love that. It's always important. Everybody says that in any aspect of business, that you always kind of want to surround yourself with like-minded individuals.
Yes.
Because even when you can't see it, there are other people that can still see your potential when you're on your bad days. Or you can still have that group of friends that can still pour into you when you feel like you don't have anything else to pour out. So definitely surround yourself with people, and taking care of your physical definitely helps your mental. I agree. I stopped working out, but I'm like, nah, I think I need to start back. Because I ain't as hyped as I used to be. I just don't feel that push anymore. Even though I'm still driven, I definitely want to get back in shape. So I agree.
Yeah, you just feel like droggy. And one thing that I dislike that people always put on others is, if you're skinny or if you're small, you don't need to work out. It doesn't matter how tiny you are, how big you are, how medium sized, working out is a plus. That's why, I follow the girl Lala, the comedian. She's she was a twig, but she started working out and gaining healthy weight. And that's what it's about. It's about staying active. It does not matter how tiny you are. Working out, it just improves your overall health.
I definitely, and your overall mental. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Your overall health. And
just
for the record, people, if somebody can't call you fat, you shouldn't be calling somebody skinny. Let's just be clear.
Yes.
Because people be ready to fight. They be like, oh, you so skinny, but if she called you fat, then you have a problem. So let's just keep from calling.
Let's stop body shaming altogether.
Let's just not,
whether you're fat, skinny, tall, short, whatever. Let's just stop it.
Exactly. Because that's how things. You don't want that.
Yes, you don't.
So being a mompreneur is all about balance. It's all about giving here, giving there. How do you manage to keep Princess together? What do you do? What do you do to keep you together?
Everyone always asks me that question, and being a mom, and I love being a mom, so it's that is my relief. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Some people are like, oh, I like to go to the club. I like to just be around my family, just sit and chill. Don't get me wrong, working out is a, outsource for me, but I'm a chill person. Like, that's just who I am. Like, hitting the mall with my kids, my family, don't get me wrong. I like to do lunches and brunches with my friends, but I'm really that person that if we're not like this and you're like, hey girl, you want to go out? I'm going to make up an excuse to stay in the house. Like, that is just me. Like, unless, it's been like a really, really, really long time and I haven't been out the house, I still go out with my fiance. Like, I'm not one of those people that's like, I need a girls' night. Like,
Really?
no. Yeah, I'm a very like homebody, like family oriented person. So we might have a girls like night-ish like once a year.
What?
Yes.
Okay, so then let me rephrase this question. What is your stress relief? I mean, when your fiance is getting on your nerves and the kids is screaming, I mean, when the kids won't stop crying, because they do that sometimes. They don't.
Okay. My guilty thing is I will sit in my room, I will close my door, and I just binge watch something on Netflix, on Hulu, or you know what? My favorite thing to do is clean. Like, I'm one of those people that like when I'm stressed or when I'm bothered, I like clean. I like deorganize everything. So I'll put my headphones on. I'll get in my own little zone. I'll just clean my house, clean them around. Or like I said, I'll just, binge watch some Netflix. But, if anything, yeah, that's about it. I'm not a nap person. I don't know how people are like, oh, I just take a nap when I'm stressed. I cannot sleep when I'm stressed. When my mind is racing, I'm up. I am up for days sometimes until a project is finished.
I'm gonna agree with you that I can't go. That's like the last thing I want to do. That's like if I gotta go to sleep, I just got to. But
yes,
I ain't trying to go to sleep. I want to be up. I agree with you there. So, MOMpreneur is balancing. We talked about balancing business. We talked about balancing mom. Let's talk about the good, happy relationship. How do you balance? That is hard, If being honest, when your fiance, you have a spouse, sex is big. That's a big thing. They want you to look good. They want the house quiet when they come. They want the dishes clean.
Yes.
Where is the middle ground, and how do you communicate that with your partner? Like, maybe you are just too exhausted. How do you manage that balance?
So, for us, we are, and I speak on this all the time because I have no shame in my game, and I want other people to understand that it's okay to do this. So for us, we get our balance and our communicating through, we are currently doing premarital counseling because we were supposed to get married this year, but COVID happened and we're getting married next year. So we do premarital counseling, and that's our balance for us to, keep a reminder on, each other's feelings of how we're doing, because sometimes, when you are doing so much, you don't realize, if you're stressed or, how it may come off to your partner when you're frustrated. So, working on those things. I'm not perfect. I'm still young. So, we are working on those things because especially having 2 kids, life gets hectic. 2 kids working, I'm in school on top of that. Wow. I have homework. I'm doing the kids' homework. He's working. He has his own business. Sometimes you do forget to cross paths, and everyone always says, communication is key, because I see that on a comment right there. And I'm going to tell you that's false. Communication is not key. It's comprehension. Because if I'm telling you everything that I need from you and you're not comprehending what I need, I'm talking to a dead wall. So, it's more about comprehension, the attentiveness of reminding and knowing, like, okay, this person wants this done. I'm going to do that for them. And then I'm going to, handle this also. So we kind of try to keep it to where it's like, 70% during the week is, kids, work. And then Saturdays and Sundays are we don't work out. Sundays are we group. We're spending time together. Let's focus on each other type of day. We don't really do anything, no partying, no anything on Sundays. Sundays are our, we call it our family day. We eat dinner and all those kinds of things. So I would say counseling definitely helps. And, I know in the Black community, it's like, oh, you go to counseling, something's really wrong. Like, no, that's not true. Like, you can go to counseling and still be happy and still educate and learn yourself. We've been together since we were pretty much teenagers. Like, we were
That's a long
kids,
time.
and we're almost 30. So you're growing and you're maturing. So talking to a third person there, that doesn't mean anything is wrong with you. So that's how we keep our balance.
I think that is also important, you guys, that you can go to counseling and nothing can be wrong, but you can also go to counseling to make sure that nothing goes wrong. Because you
Yes.
have been together so long, you are growing, you are changing, and you do have to make adjustments. And that may be hard for either party to do. So you definitely, I agree, you definitely want a third party to look and try to help you guys bridge that gap where there may be some missing pieces. So
And then sometimes, you just need someone to call you out on your stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you can feel, because when you talk to your own family and friends, they're gonna tell you you're right, and they're gonna tell that person they're right, and you're not gonna see it for what it is. Sometimes you need someone to say, no, you were wrong. Let's work on this. Okay, we're not gonna focus on the backstory. How can we improve this so this won't happen again? Those type of measures. So even with going to counseling, it also depends on if that person wants to change, if that person wants to do better. So it really helps on a personal level, a couple level, and all in one.
I like that. They say you the turning point, princess.
When I do turn up, and the crazy part about it is I really only turn up and party with my friends, like in my family. Like I have about like maybe a handful of people that like have seen me turn up. But you see me turn up when Judy was here. You see me turn up.
And
So
we ran into each other like we ran into the year I got pregnant. So that was 2018. I saw you downtown.
that is true. That is true. That is true. That is true. That is true.
It says, I tell you when you're wrong, but it's like talking to a wall.
That is not true. That is not true. That's Jay the Great, y'all. Check out the Jay the Great show. He's on the network as well as also my dad. But but yes. Yeah, my parents are very like influential, and they tell me when I'm wrong, and they don't sugarcoat. I do not have those type of parents that like enables thatness.
Yeah.
No,
I
don't.
So speaking of parents, because you're a parent, I know a lot. Some people are really close with their parents. Some people aren't. How do you balance that in the middle of the pandemic? Being a mom, being a fiance, you have all these titles. How do you manage that relationship with your parents? Do you what is that like?
So my parents are like my best friends. Like if anybody knows, like my parents are very involved. My parents actually stay next door to me. So during the pandemic, I was over there all the time. They were over here all the time. Like literally my kids love their Grammy and their Gramps. So our relationships are very close. And even, my parents' relationship with my fiance, very close. Like my dad looks at him like there's some like they have meetings and talks without me, like
wow.
And I don't even know it because my parents are just, that type. They're just those type of people. They're just awesome. So that's where I get, everything that I've learned from is them, because they were my parenters, as I say, and they still are my parenters. And I'm almost 30, and that will never ever change.
I love that. So we talked about just balancing that relationship. And I want to ask this just because this is always a big question. Sex. How do you manage this? People have different needs, and you're running a business, being a mom, you got your own needs. I'm sorry, Dad, but we can't just be on that. It's very important. We gotta know. Is there like a set of time a day? Like, how does that work? I don't want to know like what I just
No. No, you're fine. No, this is really funny. So I will say that I'm really bad at it, at like remembering, because I'm so busy. Like, and I know as moms, that's like the worst excuse ever to be like, oh, I was with the kids all day. So,
right.
We tried to, carve out time, like for one-on-one time. My granny's here too.
I saw that.
He said, well, it's fine. Hell, she got 2 kids. So we tried to, carve out time, for each other. But, definitely with 2 kids, my first son, he's 4. So then we did have, between him and having another baby, we did have a sex life because he was maintainable. But now I have an 8-month-old who still sleeps in my bed, for God's sake.
Right.
So it's always, you know, that hard factor of, you know, making sure the kids are set and then us. So, you know, we try to incorporate it to where, you know, both of our needs are met. But, you know, it's hard. Like, people don't understand that when you do have kids and you get older, it's like a hit or a miss. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, it's a work in progress.
So you I like that. I like that. I love that. A work in progress. So what tips or what advice have you taken from people to try to make sure that you keep that area of your relationship healthy and strong? You guys are already going to counseling to try to make sure your communication is key and you guys are still connected. What things are you doing, or what tips can you offer other mompreneurs to make sure that their sex life between them and their partner is something that they're, you know, maintaining?
Making sure your kids have a bedtime.
Oh, I love that.
Because, you know, if your kids have, or I'm not even going to say a bedtime, but a downtime to where, okay, you know, we know that, you know, after probably don't judge me, people. My child, his downtime is like 10, 11 o'clock. So we know after, yeah, you know, so we know that after 10, 11 o'clock, you know, we'll have somewhat of a one-on-one time just between me and him. You know what I'm saying? So definitely creating a time for your children to be aside. And then, you know, there's nothing wrong with, you know, having a date night. You know, sometimes you need that. You know, one thing I will say is a couple of weeks ago, my parents did like a couples retreat where it was just no kids the whole weekend. So it was like, okay, we have this little bit of time together. So it's nothing wrong with planning, you know, some getaways from your kid and work to, you know, focus on YouTube, whether it's once every 6 months or once a year, but you still need that time. And that's one thing that we do. We always do. We do Vegas every single year. Unfortunately, not this year, but we know every year for a week straight, we're in Vegas. No kids, just family, friends, and us. So we kind of like work ourselves hard all year for this one vacation because we know that this one vacation is worth it, you know? So I would definitely say just kind of structure some time frames. You know, it doesn't have to be like verbatim, like, oh, on Wednesday, we're going to do this at 11 o'clock. But just say, you know, hey, on 11 o'clock this day, if we are both free, you know, we can sit down and watch some Netflix and chill.
I like that.
Or, you know, something like that. But it definitely has to be on both parties because, you know, as, you know, moms and, you know, girlfriends and fiancés, sometimes we are so used to being bossy to everyone else. We don't realize that we're being bossy to our mate. And some men like that and some men don't, you know, so it's more of, like I say, you know, communication. Hey, what do you need? Okay, does this work for you? What do you think about this? You know, instead of just being like, I need this at this time. Because no one wants to be bossed around, you know, everyone's going to like, you know, kind of seize up. So I would just say compromising.
Hear that, guys? Compromise. I love it. And I love how you just said that nobody likes to be bossed around and we're always kind of bossing people. So it's really important to watch what you say. How do you manage? I know sometimes some people don't believe in talking to their children like they're people. Some people don't believe that. And so how do you manage to make sure that your tone is in check with you? Because sometimes mommies can be snappy. You got 2 kids. He might be crying. Now you're frustrated. You're trying to manage such calling for this on the business. Baby's crying. Kid want this. How do you manage that communication with your kids?
That is really hard. And I've really gotten better at that over the last quarantine because woo, child, my son was in preschool before. So, you know, a couple of days and a couple of hours out the week, he was, you know, off my hands and I only had 1 baby. But now I'm locked in this house with 2 babies all day and this one. So, you know, I've learned to just kind of take a breather, relax. And if I do ever, you know, raise my voice or yell at him, I'll apologize. You know what I'm saying? And that's what people have to, you know, understand. You know, your kids are human beings too. It's okay. You can snap, but as long as after you snap, you say, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take that out on you. The same way you would want them to do if they snapped at us, and we would want them to apologize. So I talk to my son like he's a 13-year-old because he acts like a 13-year-old, although he's 4. Like, I'm not going to baby talk him or anything like that. Like, so my son, he's very smart and like very, maintained. My son has a snack drawer in the refrigerator. And if he wakes up before me and his dad, he knows to go in the kitchen, get his snack out the drawer, turn his game on, and sit down and play and watch TV until we get up. So
I love that.
I'm not going to baby talk him because you're mature, but still understanding that he makes mistakes like a 4-year-old,
Exactly.
And, one thing I have been learning, as a parent that, kids are sponges. So they're trying everything for the first time. It's never intentional with a child, and they don't remember anything. Like, I could yell at my son right now and 2 seconds later, he will come in my room. Hi, mommy. I love you, mommy. Like, kids don't remember those things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, just learning that behavior of a child to forgive and forget.
I like that. I love that. I think that's important. I think that's kind of been a big thing with the pandemic. Wow. You've been seeing a lot of people's parenting skills come out. We've seen so many things. You've seen tempers flaring. And I think that is always important that when you're trying to balance that I just feel like you're doing it wrong if you're not constantly checking yourself.
Yes.
You gotta check all the time. You're like, damn, I said something. I'm sorry, and explain. Like, you're constantly checking yourself, and I think that's a really good way to keep the balance. Checks and balances. There you go.
Yeah,
Put that in there.
that's true because I mean, no one has ever done this before, as far as parenting. It's all based upon trial and error, and what you might do with one child, it may not work for the next child, so you have to learn each approach with each child, but it's definitely a learning phase, even for me and my parents at this phase, it's still learning,
I like that. So we didn't go. We going down this though. I want to know how we got on this because a lot of entrepreneurs need this advice. They need to hear this conversation and know that they're not alone. How have you managed to keep a certain standard of communication with the people in your company? How has that changed because of the pandemic?
So we do a lot of like a duo calls, group texts, family texts, those type of things. Just kind of really communicating, calling everyone, checking up on everybody. Even with, my mom's groups. Like I just said, I started volunteering with Social Butterflies and, reaching out to other moms and mom groups and mommy and me groups and things like that. And just letting everyone know that, your approach may be completely different from someone else. It doesn't mean that you're not going to get the same end result, and don't be ashamed of your approach or, the road that you may travel upon to get to where you need to go. I feel like so much with parents, we criticize, everyone for doing every little thing. And it's like, whatever works for you, works for you. If my kid go to bed at 3 a.m. and your kid goes to bed at 8 o'clock at night, why are you judging me? If it works for me, let it work for me. My thing is if my kid go to bed late, he's going to wake up later, so that's how I feel. I get to sleep in because the earlier he goes to bed, I know he's going to be up at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. And I'm not an early bird, so whatever works for you and your family, just let it work. If I want my kids to eat chicken nuggets and fries all day, but I'm feeding him milkshakes, that's me all day. My son will eat snacks, but my way of getting his fruits and his veggies in, I make smoothies and I put it all in the smoothies, and I got a juicer, so I make my own homemade juice and he drinks it. I can't get him to eat it, but I can get him to drink it. If that works for me, don't judge me. Because the older they get, as long as he's getting it.
Oh, that's all that matters. I love that. I was honestly just thinking about, well, my son's still too. He's kind of becoming picky, but I was just thinking about getting a blender. I'm like, maybe if I mix it up, he'll eat it. So
see, when they're 2, they eat anything. That's how my son was at 2. He loved anything. Now he's 4. That's dirty. That looks nasty. I don't want that. And I'm like, oh, I don't want sauce. Okay, kid. Okay. But mind you, I was a picky eater, so it's karma. It's karma. But,
He's just returning the favor. That's all.
He is.
I love that. And I just love that. I think that something that I've learned just being in this pandemic and trying to be a mompreneur, or I am a mompreneur, being a mompreneur and managing all these things, is that routine is so important. And your
Yes.
routine, if you had to write it down, probably looks like crap. It probably looks
Yes.
chaotic. What would you say to moms who feel like they don't have a routine, or think that what their routine is not like what it's supposed to be?
So if you feel your routine is not what it's supposed to be, change it. It's okay to change it. If you try something else and you don't like it, go back to your routine. If your routine works and you're getting things done and accomplished, it works. Regardless of how crazy it looks. Listen, if you saw my Google Calendar, you wouldn't even know how to read it. You know, like my mom is a MOMpreneur or MOMpreneur, and I work with her as well. So both of us working together, our schedules are synced. I have like 4 different calendars all in one calendar, but it works for me. I can remember certain things. I have a ton of different reminders to, try to keep me on task. But if you're accomplishing things, it works. It don't matter how it looks to other people, even if it's in like Braille, chicken scratch, duck letters, whatever. If you can read it and it works for you, keep going with it.
I love that. And not allow the pressure from social media for it to look a certain way.
Stay off social media, people. Please.
There you go.
Stay off. Stop trying to live off social media, okay?
I love it.
Half these people are not living what they're posting. What did Omarion say? They're not who they post to be. Like, it's the truth, okay? Do not let people on social media fool you.
Do not, because it's never cracked up. It's never as cracked up as they make it. And nobody posting their failures. They not.
Ain't nobody getting no money like they post to be. It's their man's money. I'm just kidding. I'm trying to It's borrowed money, okay, y'all? I'm just kidding. Let me stop. People in my inbox. Princess. Yep, I said what I said. Y'all can call me bald head all y'all want to. I cut my hair, but I said what I said.
I love it. So we're going to run down some tips because I know that I need some tips. So I'm just taking these in for myself. And I want everybody else. You know what? This is also something. Before we get to that.
Okay.
How do you communicate to your fiance what you need or when you stress? How does that work? Because I know a lot of times, even in friendship, you've seen people allow things to build up and then they just only express it once they get mad. They're just like, I told you to this or I told you to do that. It's like, how do you communicate that along the way?
So, I've learned to talk to him and not talk at him.
Ooh.
And so, if I need something, hey, babe, this is what I needed. And if it's not done, instead of me being like, I asked you to do this, I'll just be like, hey, babe, do you remember I asked you to do this? Or, can you do this? Like, you know what I'm saying? So for me, it's really just about communication and how you say it. My dad always told me, it's not about what you say, it's about how you say it. So I've always just tried to communicate that. And again, we are currently in therapy working on building communication because, sometimes you can get frustrated and have everything here and not know how to, disperse it. So just still practicing and learning all those behaviors day by day. And especially, for people who are dating and working, I don't know how y'all date in this new day and age. I would be so lost. Like, I would be. So kudos to all of you.
I'm lost
out there.
I'm lost.
Kudos, man.
I am lost.
Can you unlock the door, the car door? Sorry, people are calling me and asking me for stuff. See, it never stops.
I just saw my kid fell off the couch. So. He's got time.
See, people never see the behind the scenes of all this stuff, of all this madness, of all this chaos. The car door.
Don't. And I always try to tell people. Sometimes I get on here and I'm like, I'm so thankful for Cat in the Hat. That's what babysits kids when I do it. I'm doing the show. Cat in the Hat watches. Okay. And Graham Cracker does the job for me.
Hey, and if that works for you, girl, we gonna buy a whole bundle of them. Okay, that's what people don't understand. Who is going to tell otherwise?
So let's get to these tips because I want mompreneurs to know that it is possible to balance it all.
Yes.
It is possible to have it all. But you have to know how to do it, and you have to know how to take a break. When do you take a break, Princess? When do you just like, I gotta step back, this too much, I can't, like, when do you take a break, or how do you know when it's time for you to take a break?
So for me, I just trust my gut, and whatever path you go in as a mompreneur, make sure you're passionate about it, and make sure you're doing it because that's what you love and not because that's what you think is going to make money. Because if money bought happiness, there wouldn't be, millionaires and billionaires that are, killing themselves or depressed and those type of things. So I would definitely say if you're going to, go into a business, go into it because that's what you want to do. Because starting a business and being a mompreneur, it takes a lot of money. Putting up all that, for the paperwork and all that kind of stuff. Like, it takes time before you will actually reap benefits of what you're putting out there. So don't get discouraged, trust your gut. If your gut tells you this is a bad decision, then it's a bad decision. I've had, a couple of instances where I was like, okay, I could take this because of the money, but I know it's going to be a headache. And I'm glad I followed my first mind and not did it for the money, because your health and your well-being and your mental is more important than some money.
Always.
So trust your gut. If you feel like this may not be the best decision, don't take it. Don't take it for the money. Take it because you feel like, okay, this will be a good thing. Not because, I just need the money right now. Because that's going to leave you down a road of disaster.
Exactly. It's a real dark path, guys. So give me 2 tips that you have, or give me 2 things that you have learned when it comes to balancing business and being a mom during this pandemic. Brand new things, 2 new techniques that you have definitely learned and are using.
So definitely surround yourself around like-minded people, and distance yourself from friends and family who, I say it's the little words, right? So if someone's like, oh yeah, my cousin got a little show, or my cousin she got a little business, distance yourself from them because they don't look at you as that you could potentially have a full business. They don't see your vision. Distance yourself, and don't do business with family. Don't do it.
I like that.
Don't do it. Because in the beginning, yeah, it's all fun and games, but for some reason in the Black culture, it's if you do business with family, you got to give me a discount. You got to give me a hookup. You got to give me something free. And it's hard to tell your loved one or cousin no. You know what I'm saying? And then if you do tell them no, then everybody's like, oh yeah, well now she acting bougie. Don't do it.
Stay away from them.
Yes, because when you start a business, yeah, of course, all your friends. When you start a business, of course, your family and friends are going to support. They're going to buy. Okay. After they're done, what is your marketing tool? Who are you marketing to? Who is going to buy into what you're selling? Wow. Because your family and friends, they're only going to buy the first press and then the second press. And then after that, you're just going to have all this material or all this investment going where? So I would definitely say, make sure you have a very good marketing scheme. And, during the pandemic, I started 3JS Creative Group, which is a consulting firm. We help small businesses do, strategic planning, marketing and advertising and brand managers, and helping companies file LLCs and, are you an incorporated or are you a S Corp or C Corp, all those type of things, because you need to know it. Or would you be better off as a nonprofit? Do you know how to fill out those paperworks, trademarks, all those type of things? You have to have a business plan when creating a business, because if not, you're just going to be going with the flow. And before you know it, you would have spent so much money on this business and never have made 1 cent on the business. So you can't call yourself a business unless you have some income to that business. So, another thing that I will say, as far as, people who are moms or just in general, do not be afraid to ask for people or ask
for help from people who are certified and knows what they're doing.
Ooh.
If you want to build a house, you're not going to go out there and buy your own house. So if you want to start a business, why won't you go hire people who know about business to help you with that?
Yes.
If your car breaks down, you're not just going to go out there and start looking up under your hood because you're not a mechanic. You're going to go find someone who knows how to. So why not go and find someone who knows an expertise in that area that you're trying to go in, whether it's marketing or social media or brand management or, just filing paperwork in general. Don't be afraid to ask. I feel like so many people just want to have that chip on their shoulder. I did it by myself. Well, where did that get you? Because I will gladly tell you who helped me, when they did it, and how. Because I bet you I would be 10 times farther because I have their support on top of me knowing and having the knowledge.
Yeah.
Versus, you just learning and bumping your head. So many times people are like, oh, I'm going to let them learn the hard way. That's what we have to stop. We have to stop letting people learn the hard way.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with that. Y'all,
yes.
Take notes. You can play it back later, but you might want to take them notes now.
Yes.
Okay. And give me 2 tips, or 2. I'll take two tips. What are 2 tips that you have for mompreneurs that want to learn to balance their relationship with their spouse, whether it be, trying to manage their time for sex or just them time to communicate? What would be 2 good pieces of advice from those moms?
I would definitely say creating a schedule for one. Even if you create a schedule and never follow it, at least you have something that you're trying to reach to get in a schedule form. If you don't create any type of schedule, you're just going to be winging it day by day. At least if you create some type of schedule, you can kind of say, okay, I missed doing this yesterday. I'm going to try this again today, type of thing. So I'll definitely say a schedule as far as, business and things. But the second tip, as far as like your love life and things like that, I would say a schedule, but then some people love the spontaneousness of life. So just communicating, if it's something that you need right now, let your partner know, hey, I need this, or, do you need this from me? And it could be done. It could be worked around instead of, holding in all those feelings or holding in how you're thinking or feeling and then getting mad because that person can't read your mind.
I like that.
And I would say if you're not going to do, if you're going to look on social media for relationship goals, I would say more do Pinterest, because you're getting ideas of how to, still think about this person and involve this person. And it's more realistic than these whole online relationship goals of people that, it's fake and stuff that will never happen. I don't know. Sweetest Day is coming up and everyone's like, what do you guys do for Sweetest Day? Oh, because why? We're all supposed to rent hotel rooms and do rose petals. In what real world? Okay. I have a house.
Not rent the hotel room and do the rose petals. Not that one.
I'm so sick of seeing that one with the balloons and everything. I'm so sick of that. I'm so sick of it. It's 2020, y'all. Y'all been posting that since 2000. Get over it, girls. It's not going to happen.
I know this is something that we didn't touch on that I really think is important. This is something I think the man and the woman can take from. What is something that your fiance does that has helped manage, maybe that he doesn't even know that he's done during the pandemic, that's help you manage your stress or help you communicate?
Taking the kids. Ooh. He can tell when I'm frustrated. I'm gonna have to get my charger soon. But he can tell when I'm frustrated. And he'll take the kids off my hand, with no problem. Whether it's, fixing them something to eat or me taking a nap or me sleeping in and him being up with them, those type of things. When I'm working out, him being with the kids, sitting with the kids. So those are definitely key pointers that he has the baby right now. While I'm doing this. Yes.
I love that. Well, Princess, I do know you got to get your charger, so we're going to wrap this up. But when you come in, I do apologize. Did you give me something you're grateful for when you came in?
Yes, I said I'm grateful for you for letting me be on the show. And I'm just grateful for life, being healthy during this crazy, crazy time,
Perfect.
So much is going on with this COVID. I'm just blessed to be healthy.
I love that. So I'm gonna accept that as your second grateful, because when you come in, you gotta give us something. When you go out, you gotta give us something. So I'm gonna think that you are grateful for your health in your life as your second grateful. I am so thankful that you came to join us today. It's so good.
Thank you. This was so much fun. You know, we could talk for hours on this type of stuff.
I love it. So I'm thankful that you were able to join us today, despite all those little technical difficulties we was having.
Yes.
Technology is funny.
We got it. We got it together.
And I'm thankful to all my great viewers that came to join us this Tuesday. You guys are thebomb.com as usual.
Yes.
And thank you so much, Princess, for joining us. As always, you guys, my name is Cherrell Carter. I'm the host of Let's Talk, and this ain't a podcast. I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Thanks for coming today, y'all. See ya.
Bye, guys.